Hello everyone, welcome to summer 2022 game hacking. This is the second time this course has run. First time I ran it, I went into it blind, or at least as blind as I could. Set up the game, the master server, got my client, and just went through the class just like the students were. So I knew what was expected as far as accomplishing the goals went from the quests and everything in the game. And I went about poking and prodding it and seeing, how I could work my way through the challenges myself. Avoiding as much as I could anyway, write-ups and stuff from people that have already gone through it. This semester, obviously, it's going to be a little bit different. I've done the challenges before, successfully completed them before. I know what I did last time, which means that this time around, what I'm going to be trying to do is find new ways to accomplish those goals if I can. There's a couple of them that I'm not even really sure how else I would approach them, but I'm going to give it a shot this semester. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over essentially the first assignment. We're going to go over the way the course is going to be organized. We're going to get our client. I'm going to show you all the stuff on the back end that you'll need to be dealing with. And we're going to get in the game and make sure that we can play and that everything is working as it should. Also keep in mind there might be a couple of technical hiccups in this video because just as I did last semester, I just stood up the game client and the master server. I've logged in already a couple of times, but I haven't really done a whole lot as far as, playing the game yet goes. So might be a couple hitches here and there. I guess we'll see. I'll deal with them as we go. All right, let's start with Canvas. So I get into student view here. All right, so going one by one here, up at the top, course syllabus, just like always. This is updated for 2022, so everything in there should be accurate. I also have a frequently asked questions page, so give that a look if you have a question. Always feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. I don't have a problem answering them, but there's a couple of things that I noticed came up quite a bit, and I thought, might be easier for you if you had somewhere to go to find these information without asking me the same thing a dozen times. Keep in mind that the way this course is organized, number one, it's self-paced, meaning that right away from day one, you can go about doing whatever you want to do, accomplish the objectives in any order. I don't care. That's all fine. But what that means is also that it's not going to be possible for me to hold students' hands throughout the entire semester because I got students that are going to be working on multiple different things. Also, there's going to be a slight ethical component to this course as well. There will be an ethical challenge. We are learning to hack games, which means that, what you're doing could get you into serious trouble. And perhaps more importantly, hacking games, MMOs, hacking offline games and hacking online games are two completely different things. So ethically, they're not similar at all. They're in different worlds. I'm not saying that one is ethical and one is not, but I will say that certainly hacking in online games in order to gain an advantage over other people playing is most definitely unethical. There is no gray area there. It's definitely a bad thing, and don't do it. And if I catch you cheating, I will be personally very disappointed in you at the very least. So don't do that. Also, this game has been around since 2015, which means you are not the first class to go through this. You're not the first class at UWSP, but you're also not the first people in general. It's been around a while, which means that if you don't get what you need out of my videos, out of my instruction, that's fine. There's plenty of information out there on Pwn Adventure 3. Since the class in the summer ended, I've done a little bit of looking, and there are so many terrific write-ups out there and other video series by other creators that you have a lot of support as far as learning goes. That said, that means that it's easy for you if you get stuck to find a way to complete the objectives, and there's multiple ways to complete them, I'm certain of that. But what that also means is that we need to have... Petco coming up here. What it means is that we need to have a way to ensure that the work that you're doing in this class is yours, which means that there is instructions in the syllabus for submitting your assignments. Make sure you follow them. If you submit a response to an assignment that's not in line with the syllabus, that doesn't prove in one way or another that it is in fact your work, then that's going to be a real problem. Now, the method I have is hardly foolproof or anything like that, but just I'm extending a certain amount of trust here. Just make sure that you do include some way that it is your work. All right, so what happens if you get stuck? Find sources outside of my videos. There's plenty of them. I've included the videos from last summer, although the quality of those videos is terrible. This summer, I've got a completely different setup here that's much more conducive to recording these kinds of videos. The videos I had last year, the audio and the video is constantly dropping out, and they're terrible. There was nothing I could do about it but struggle through them last semester, so at least you'll be getting better videos now. But I am including those in this course as well, and we'll see those in a second. There's videos out there from Live Overflow and a bunch of other people who have done this before. There are write-ups for the original CTF. There are write-ups from people who discovered it later. Tons of material out there for that. Make sure that you research other solutions. There's more than one way to complete these objectives a lot of the time. And so don't get locked into a solution that's not working. Feel free, explore. Right, that's the whole point of this class. It's not really to teach you how to hack games. Hacking a game is the same as approaching any other technical problem like this. It's a black box. You need to start probing. You got to look at it from multiple different angles, put in a little bit of work, do a little bit of research, but crack that nut. Keep at it, right? Because there's 10 challenges, you can move on to other challenges. Sometimes, if you're particularly struggling with one thing, go for some lower-hanging fruit. Those easy wins, if you can find one, are a great way to bolster your morale to come back and approach other problems later on. So don't feel like you need to plug at one problem endlessly, at the expense of other problems that are out there waiting to be solved. Next, feel free to collaborate with this one. Everyone has to do your own work. These are not group assignments, but feel free to work together. There's discussion boards on Canvas that you can post problems and see if you can get some responses to. I'll be watching those. I'll monitor those and provide answers if I can. You can email me. I'm not going to give you the answers, but I can at least point you in the right direction if you're feeling like, is this even going to work? I can provide some guidance. Last, what happens if you can't complete a challenge at all? What do you do? Okay, you're not being graded on whether or not you complete the assignments anyway. I don't care if you get the achievements. The achievements are just a way of proving that you were able to find a workable solution. If it's the end of the semester, we get to the end of the summer session, and you just can't do it, no, everything you've done just isn't working, still submit a report. But it better be detailed, and it better prove that you tried everything that you possibly could. Don't just send me a one paragraph that said I wasn't able to do this. I took a look at it, and I skipped it, and I never got back to it. That's not going to earn you any points. That's not an effort at all. So you're being graded on your ability to approach a problem, find a solution, work a way around it, come up with ways to overcome those hurdles as you do. None of the challenges are particularly complicated or difficult, but sometimes it happens. There's a couple of them in there that were pretty tough to crack the first time I went through them. But I was able to do all of them. So now I know, go ahead. That said, don't submit one of these failed reports right away. The last week of class is when I'll accept those. If you send one sooner than that, I'm just going to tell you no points. Keep at it. I don't care if there's, if it's 2 weeks left, spend that last week trying to figure out the solution. Submit them the last week of class. Next, can you reuse the codes and the code and the write-ups and stuff that you find? Yes. Do not use, if somebody out there has created a precompiled trainer, I wasn't able to find one, but if there's one out there, don't use that because you're not being graded on your ability to download and run a trainer. This would be stuff that would create your own trainer. So, do that. But as far as code and everything goes, yeah, go right ahead. You still have to do it yourself. And you're going to find that even if you're reusing code, you're going to have to modify it or something, most likely. So, feel free to reuse code, use others' write-ups. Just don't use any precompiled trainers or anything like that. That's not the point. The point isn't to win. The point is to find solutions. And using someone else's solution that's precompiled is not really in the spirit of this whole thing. Next. What does a good write-up look like? Head to InfoSec write-ups and just use that format. So we can pick pretty much any of these. How about, obviously not top ethical hacking tools. That's not what we're looking for. How about Here we go. Remote code execution via EXIF data. What? So starts with a summary. A little blurb on how to find it. Okay. Oh, PHP and EXIF data. Oh, yeah. That's interesting. I didn't even think of that before, but yeah, I suppose. Anyway, so this actual thing aside. So it starts with a summary, explanation of what you need to do, how the execution occurs, some screenshots. Screenshots are very important to submitting a decent report. Don't just submit screenshots. I've had students do that before. A screenshot alone does not tell the story. The screenshot explains what the text is trying to say. It just provides a visual to go along with it. Netcat listener, see, there's a screenshot that goes with every command to show the output. That's what we're looking for. And then just a brief conclusion of some kind is just fine. So that's what a good write-up looks like. It's not a lot. I mean, that's 2 pages, maybe 3. Maybe not including the screenshots, of course. But it's not a lot. What I'm looking for is a complete recounting. I want to know what you did, what you tried, what worked, show me screenshots to go along with it, and so on. Next, the quality of the videos from last semester sucked. This semester will hopefully be better. But if you're having trouble with my videos, I know my production quality is not the greatest. I'm not here to... This isn't an entertainment service. As long as I can get what I need to get out and into your ears, that's what I'm looking for. There's lots of other videos out there that are very entertaining. All right, the next module here is tools. This is where I'm going to keep a collection of all the tools that I used or did use last year. So this might grow as I find new ways to complete the challenges. But last year I did start up a TCP proxy. I might do that again this year because last year I set up a proxy and it was useful for information gathering purposes, but I didn't actually do any command injection. I didn't need to. So what I ended up using at the end was Wireshark because I was just eavesdropping. I didn't need a proxy. So this year I will create a video probably for both. Yeah, Wireshark, here's a video on how I set up the proxy. Here's a video on setting up the proxy. That's from last year. But here's the scripts I use, parser and Pwn proxy. Here's a link to Wireshark and a Lewis script for Wireshark that parses the Pwn Adventure 3 game data. Cheat engine I made extensive use of last semester. I'll probably use it again this semester because it's a really useful tool. As well as Ghidra, a disassembly program, which we will have a separate video going through that. There is a gamelogic.pdb file that's in the game client that I'll explain when I get to that video, but here's a copy of it here in case you bork yours up for some reason. And last, if you have the DIA SDK error in Ghidra that I saw last semester, here's a link on how to fix it, although Ghidra is usually pretty easy to use, and I don't anticipate too much of a problem. And we did do some binary patching last year, and I'll definitely be doing it again this year because I need a speed... I got back into Pwn Adventure 3 for the first time since last year, and it reminded me how slow movement is in that game. I'm going to create a video before we even do any challenges that are going to be quality of life improvements, like a little speed hack so you're not trudging along at a snail's pace. Next, got some links here. Live Overflow's Pwn Adventure series. Great series. I love Live Overflow. Amazing videos. Live Overflow, Stack Smashing, and a handful of others on YouTube are just amazing. Live Overflow's Pwn Adventure series, after I watched it last summer, the course wrapped up and I started going through the videos and I was just like, why did I even bother recording my own? Everything you need to know Live Overflow goes over, and he does it much better. But still, your tuition dollars are going to me, well, not me, they're going to UW system, not Live Overflow. And so I'm still going to be doing my own videos because I want to do it myself anyway. But his videos are just amazing. If you go to a source other than my videos, his videos are definitely better in a lot of ways. Next, there's a link to a game hacking Bible from Guided Hacking. Great information. Also, if you do want a textbook on this, I don't have one in the syllabus. However, I did pick up Nick Cano's Game Hacking, Developing Autonomous Bots for Online Games, right there. And I haven't read through the whole thing yet, but I thumbed through it, and for example, it has a lot of information that gets you more in depth, for example, on using cheat engine for finding memory variables in memory. So we will go through that in a video, but this gives you a lot more information, and a lot more information that you won't necessarily have background on, like reading assembly code and figuring out where values are coming from, and also pointer tracing, which we will also be doing. So that's tools. Keep this in mind. This is where I'm going to keep everything I'm using. All right. Next section is for miscellaneous videos. If it's not related directly to a quest or an achievement in the game, it's going to be in the miscellaneous video section. So the first video that I'm going to create here that is quality of life improvements for the game, like our speed hack, are going to go there because they're not pertaining to any particular one quest. So keep this module in mind. I already have a video up from last year that I went over cheat engine and how code is used in memory. I'm going to do that again. But I'm, again, reusing some material here just because I want it to be available to you in case I say something that is useful to you. All right, next is our first real module, Introduction and Code of Ethics. This includes just a little quiz here. The quiz is just related, it's just a bunch of, it's basically an end-user license agreement. It's just information for you pointing to ethical codes standards. You're agreeing to abide by those standards and that kind of a thing. I have a video that accompanies that, and also the video introduction from last semester going over the syllabus. I just don't intend to record a new one because it's the same syllabus except for the dates, pretty much. All right, and then we're going to have our first assignment. And the first assignment should be dead simple. Oh, I need to note to self, adjust the deadlines for the assignments after this. Okay. The first assignment is going to be dead simple. Doesn't require any hacking at all. All you got to do to complete the first assignment is be able to download the client, run it, create an account, get in the game, and exit the first starting area. That's it. That's all you've got to do. So I'm not looking for a big write-up, and I don't need you to give me a lot of information about this because it should just be as simple as download, unzip, open, create account, and get in. So don't worry about that so much, but that's our first assignment, and we'll do that in just a moment here. I have included with this, however, some things that might be useful to you. There is no in-game map, so I have included a map that I was able to find from Bojan, I think, another creator who went through Pwn Adventure 3. Not a creator. He's got a GitHub. He does something with this, I think, at like conferences or something. But he created a map. This will maybe be a little bit useful for you. For your frame of reference, this building right here is the starting area. This is the town near the starting area, and then we have lines. For example, here's a cave that goes to Blocky's Revenge. Unbearable Revenge, the chest is found over here. Egg Hunter points here into the mountains until the cows come home. Here's the gold farm, where you can pick up that quest. That is not where the chest is, but that's where you pick up the quest. Pirate's Treasure, there's a pirate ship right here in the water. Fire and Ice, there's another cave right here. So that can help you to stay oriented, although, as I said, there's no in-game map, so not ideal, but at least it's something. Gamekey Binds, it plays very much like any other generic first-person shooter. Here's a list of the keys that you can use. The only ones that might be a little bit different are, for example, P to toggle between first-person view. Wow, that was not words. P to toggle between first and third-person views. J is your current quests. L is your list of achievements, so you'll need at least some of those, to show your work when you do your assignments. So here's some instructions for installing the Pwn Adventure 3 client. Note that this is going to change after I upload this video in order to prevent random people from YouTube, or students from last semester from coming in and ruining our fun. I'm going to need to, I have already changed the information here. I will change it after this video uploads, but you don't really need this information anyway, because there's a copy of the server ini file right here. So what you need to do to get started is download the Pwn Adventure 3 client, Windows or Linux. There was a Mac client, but they no longer distribute that, and I'm not going to support it. So if you have a Mac and you want to run the native Mac client, you're going to have to go out and find it, and if you have any problems, it's entirely on you. So Windows or Linux are the only ones that we're really using. Just download it and unzip it. And when you do, you're going to find a directory structure that's similar to this. So there's a Pwn Adventure 3 binary, an engine folder, and a Pwn Adventure 3 folder. I don't think the ref directory won't be there. That's something I added from last semester. So what you need to do, download the client, unzip it, then download there we go. Download the server ini file and replace it at Pwn Adventure 3 content server right there. Replace that server ini file with the one that you get from Canvas, and then you should be good to go. The rest of these we will go over as we go through a semester. So let's hop over now. What am I at here? 21 minutes? Okay. Well, let's get into the game. Let's do Goodness Gracious. All we got to do Goodness Gracious is download the client, unzip it, replace that server ini file, and then log in. So let me make sure that I've got my server ini file saved. 1 minute. All right, I did download the server ini file. I did not get rid of the old one. I just replaced it, so this should be the new one, and I think it's the current one. I guess we'll find out in just a second. All right, so let's launch our client. Oh, DirectX runtime I don't have installed yet. All right, so if you see any error messages for dependencies, do go ahead and install them. There's nothing too weird in there. You will, of course, require administrative rights in order to do so. That's not the right password anymore. Okay, just going to do this quick DirectX install, and we'll get started. I believe that this is Unity. No, wait, it's Unreal Engine 4. So, no, that's not right. I don't know what I was just thinking. Normally I wouldn't sit here and roll tape while watching progress bars fill up, but I also want you to see the whole process just in case there's any problems, so that if you have problems you can fix them. All right, so that was simple enough. Just downloaded DirectX. All right, then we get our splash screen. Here it comes. Pwn Adventure 3, 32-bit, PD3D, SM5. It says in the window. I'm going to run this, by the way, in windowed mode rather than full screen, at least probably for the most part. Ghost in the Shellcode was the CTF this was originally created for. Rusty Wagner, thank you so much for creating this and making it available. And I have music playing in my ears, which is terribly loud, so I'm going to turn that off. All right, so splash screen gone. Here's Pwn Adventure 3, Pwnie Island. By the way, yes, this is Pwn Adventure 3. There is a Pwn Adventure 2 and a Pwn Adventure 1, which I would love to play with as well. But this is the most recent iteration of the game, and so we're going to play it. All right, so first of all, actually, before we get started, you'll notice there's Play Game, Begin Your Adventure, Offline Play, and Options. Play Game is for online mode, and we are going to be running through online. There is an offline play option, which is actually important and revealing to us because, number one, if there's an offline play, it means that there is a client-only version, and that tells us that obviously there's no server-side code. If it required server-side code to play, then we wouldn't be able to play offline. That's what offline means. And that's important because it means that if we're running into connectivity issues or we just want to run some tests and maybe eliminate the server as a variable, we have an offline mode we can go into to try and figure out if that is indeed the problem. So that's great to know, but just so you know, submitting your assignments, you are going to have to do it with the online version. So we're not going to accept, because offline, certain things will be a little bit easier with offline mode. For options, it's pretty limited, but you do have some ability here. You can change the quality and screen resolution and invert your mouse axis and whatnot if you're into that kind of a thing. All right, so now we're going to see if my master and my game server are working. So in order to connect to the server, we need a master server and we need a game server. The master server is going to control the accounts, the authentication. The game server is what's going to actually control our connection to the game. So let's go to play game. If I get an error, it means I can't contact the master server, but I didn't, so we're contacting the master server just fine. When you get to this point, I'm going to go ahead and go through the whole process. I've already got an account, but we're going to do it again. So you go to register a new account, choose a username. I'm going to go Professor Johnson 1. Team name will be test team. Password. Now, you can play on a team if you want to. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me at all. So, username, password, whatever. When you create an account, registration complete. This hash is what you can share with your friends if you want to do a team. They just enter the hash instead of the team name. And we're good to go. Create a character. All right, so I'm actually going to turn the audio on but down so you can hear the game sounds. And I see, I don't know if you can hear this or not. I'm not seeing anything in my mixer bar. All right, so character creation is limited, but I mean, it's still cool that you can do it, right? So I'm going to pick the night guy here. That's pretty fresh right there. I'm not going to lie. That's looking good. We need a character name. Test guy. No, let's not do test guy. Let's do crash test dummy. All right. Now let's create and join. And now we get to see if we can actually connect to the game server. It doesn't usually take this long, so I might be having a problem with my game server. Could be. Socket error. Okay, I do have a problem with the game server. All right, let me... should I burn tape while I do this? I don't know. Probably not. So let me pause this while I just restart the game server, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, restarted. Hopefully that'll do it. Let's give it a try. Back in there with the account we just created. Connect. And there's my guy. And let's see. Well, okay. The script just started. Let's give it a second. I do have to warn you, this does remind me, because this was created in 2015 for a CTF. This isn't a AAA title or anything like that. So it's not going to be without its bugs. All right, you're going to run into some problems here and there, stuff like this. Hang in there and deal with it. All right, here ended connection. Okay, just give it a sec here. It's still running. So yeah, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to crash. There's going to be bugs, and plus we're going to be hacking it, which means that we're going to be introducing our own bugs to this thing. It's part of the process. Okay, just roll with it, if need be. All right, don't wait until the last minute to do your assignments, and you should be just fine. And if push comes to shove, you can always just... I prefer you not use the offline version, but if need be, we'll allow that if push comes to shove. All right, let me try running this outside of the background process so I can actually see the output of the script. Still initializing. I failed to bind on port. Weird. Now the game server binds to some 70 ports or so, which means that theoretically speaking, we should be able to handle 70 concurrent connections from users as well. What gives? Should be good to go. Unless it is... Hold on, my client... hold on a moment. Let me show you what I'm going to do. But I'm going to show you with this, because I have to dig into my thing here. No, I should be good. Port 3000. Let me try switching that port, though. I'm going to have to pause this while I edit the server ini file. Okay, I reckon that we got it figured out. Oops, so anyway. So as I said, you know, bugs are going to be part of the process here. All right, so we logged in, got our character. Let's join, and we begin in a cave. We got a full 3D game here. If we look up, we got the moon in a hole in a cave, and looking around here, move with the WASD keys, mouse. We got in the upper left-hand corner a quest and our current objectives. So escape the lost cave, explore the cave, health bar, mana bar, and inventory bar at the bottom. L, achievements. You notice I don't have any of them just yet, but there's the full list. That's what you're going to be expected to do for your last assignment. J is the journal, current quests. I, inventory, we don't have anything just now. In-game currency is Pwn coins. So, explore the cave. What we're going to do is we're going to want to move around. Oh, I still have my speed hack from last semester on this client. That's fine. I'll just take it a little bit easier here. So, we leave through this entrance here. Actually, I don't want to walk. That's far too slow. And a short distance after we begin, we have a choice, right path or a left path. The right path is our way out, but if we head down this way, there is a bush in the way. And E to inspect. The way is blocked by a large bush. You must search for a way to remove it. Speed hack is actually going to help me out here, because otherwise I would be moving through this kind of slow. Alright, so what we got to do is we actually have to go through the left path up this way. And that takes us to a large room. All right, so look at how cool this is. It's so amazing to have this. This is so rare to have something like this available for learning purposes. This is just amazing. So there's no fall damage in the game, so we can just jump on down. Did you see that shadow move? Look at that. Look at that. Fire moves and casts a shadow, moves the shadows around. It's amazing. I didn't notice that before. It's possible last time because the quality was so bad and I was working with such bad equipment that I had the graphics down. I have them up now because I have a much better set. Look at that. Heat waves. All right. Pick up the spell book and we learn our first spell, which is the fire spell. Notice I just got the achievement, goodness gracious. Acquired great balls of fire. 63 damage per second, 25 fire damage, 2.5 attacks per second, 4 mana per attack. And if we shoot a couple of them off... Oh man, light effects and everything. Alright, so we shoot a couple of them off. We can see we can do that. We can fire at the fire. And they're not terribly fast. As a matter of fact, they are almost as fast... well, I have my speed hack on, so I'm actually faster than they are right now. But they're only slightly faster than the player under normal circumstances. Alright, so now that we have the fire spell, we could stop there. Technically, we've just done the assignment, right? So what I would do is I would See how it says now, goodness gracious, done. So what I would do is, according to the syllabus, I would, pull up what I need to pull up and put it on there and take a screenshot of that, showing that it's done. That would be fine. This assignment is over. This just proves I could get into the client and I can play and everything was fine. But I'm going to go a little bit farther because we're actually going to escape the cave here so that we can head out into Pwnie Island proper. So when we get to the bush, we got to burn it down. Quest completed, escape the lost cave. And then we see that we come to a pipe, and the pipe is in fact a sewer. And here's our first enemy in the game, giant rats. Now, one thing I remember from the last time I played this is that it's actually really hard to tell when you're being attacked. And there we go. I can't seem to kill a rat. So here we have some bars. See, rats. The enemies just kind of spawn behind you, and they don't make any noise. And when you get hit, it doesn't make a noise. So I don't feel bad killing these rats. They are evil. I have it on good authority that they are evil rats. Okay, head out this way through the tunnel. I'm gonna skip the rats. I'll let one bite me here so you can see it doesn't make a noise. I don't know if you can hear very well. But yeah, completely silent. So you have to watch your health bar. Otherwise you might get in trouble. Alright. Into a warehouse we go. Boxes. As far as I know, there's nothing to collect in here. But we head outside. The crapshoot, sewer management, entering Pwnie Island. And if we take a right outside the door and follow this road, it leads us to the town. Alright, here's the town. Down here is the fast travel system, the Pony Express, which is another achievement. Alright, let's go to... is it J? Now you're thinking with portals, so you'll need to do that. Use it at least once in order to get that last assignment, the Overachiever assignment. In the building to the left, we have Major Payne, who is our gun seller. You can see he's got lots of guns. And welcome to my gun shop. What do you need? I've heard of some legendary weapons. Do you have any? There are many legendary weapons to be found, but I rarely have any to sell. The best weapons are found by adventurers completing quests, but many can be found just by fighting the enemies around here. And that is true. I noticed during my last playthrough of Pwn Adventure 3 that I got a lot of weapons just from killing random non-special mobs. I don't know why. What weapons do you have? So there's a Glock 17, there's the Cowboy Coder, and we have ammo. Notice they all cost Pwn coins. We have 0 Pwn coins right now. So we'll come back to this. It is possible to pick up all of these items from killing random mobs. So getting infinite ammo and infinite money was one of my objectives last semester when I ran this. I think I figured out infinite ammo. I don't know if I figured out infinite coins. But it turns out to not really matter so much because you get tons and tons and tons of coins from completing quests. The building off to the right here is our library. And wow, it looks... I don't know how it looks on the film, but with full graphics, this actually looks pretty good. All things considered. I got a major sheen on the floor here. It looks like it's wet almost. But over here we have Just Intolerable. And I'm going to save Just Intolerable. I just realized it would be better to do that in the video for the quest. So... here we go. Well, if you found the town, then at least you have something to orient yourself on the map. And, yeah, so that's the first assignment. We're good to go. All right. Let's move on to bigger and better things here. Take care, everybody.